Hello, hello, hello. What is good, everyone? Appreciate everyone for stopping by. Let me just change it real quick. And boom. Wow. All right. What is good, everyone? Appreciate you all for being here on this fine Sunday. Let me just fix the lighting a little bit. My hair also looks somewhat strange. Not sure what's up with that, but hey, we're good. It's gonna be a big day for One Piece. We're on the Loki flashback. Incredibly excited for what's to come here. Incredibly so. And with last week, me being so incredibly ecstatic in a way, I'm very excited to see what's to come. For some reason, my chat isn't showing up on Streamlabs. Well, OBS. I use OBS now. I'm free from the curse. My chat is not showing up. I think it should be good now. Hello. Let me make certain it's showing up before I... Oh, cool. Alright, I didn't know you could do that. Alright. My camera feels a bit like high for some reason. I gotta like angle it a different way. But regardless, we're here. One Piece 1153. Obviously, like I said, last week was an absolute banger, so I'm very, very excited for this week. And before we get into the chapter, I want to give a fun little story time, whatever. So, 2 days ago, I went downtown, and I had a really nice time. I went downtown for a specific reason, and that reason is because the creator of one of my favorite shows was in Philly. So, of course, I wanted to support his new work that he's working on and, you know, say, like, yo, thank you for making it. And this creator was Mr. Matt Brawley, the creator of Amphibia. And I was lucky enough to be able to talk to him, you know, chat about his work, tell him I'm very excited for what he's doing in the future. And I read it. I actually have it right over here. Let me bring it real quick. Right here, it's called Family Force V, but it could easily be 5. It was really good. It was a very enjoyable read. I read it pretty fast. I took like a break halfway through because I was taking the train home, and regardless, I really enjoyed it. The art style is great by Ainsworth Lynn. Really great art style. Definitely worth the read. I am excited for what's to come. Cool vibes, very Power Rangers like esque. Which is cool, you know. A lot of fun variety and family baggage. A lot of that. So definitely worth the read. Definitely check it out if you are intrigued. And of course, make sure to watch the greatness that is Amphibia. Phenomenal show. But before we actually get into the chapter, of course, we're going to speculate a bit because this is a big deal. I'm not fairly certain if this is the Loki flashback right now, like, because we're now in a flashbackception kind of thing right now. I personally felt as though we were going to get straight up Loki, because that would kind of allude to us getting more about Rox, you know, and Rox is obviously a big red siren of mystery in One Piece right now. So I'm not entirely certain on what's going to happen there, but if I'm thinking about who exactly this is going to follow, we're definitely going to get stuff about Harold, but maybe Harold isn't actually about Harold himself. It's more so a way to fuel, you know, okay, this is how Loki's birth, how he turned out to be cursed, led to be. We're seeing how Loki was born. That's what I'm kind of thinking right now, because why would we go back so far for the Loki flashback if not to see how Loki was born in the first place? It's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm really hoping we get some, like I said, some kind of crazy, I don't know. I feel like the Harold stuff, because the Harold twist of him being kind of a jerk is obviously great. I love that a lot. But for me, it's more so... Sorry, thing is making a weird noise. For me, it's more so I'm not certain what to expect, you know what I mean? Not certain. And because of that, I'm a bit... not a bit, I'm very intrigued on what's going to happen. Because I feel as though Harold being this jerk, you know, not only are we going to see this possible turnaround of him as a character, but it could also all be a lie. So, very intriguing. Very curious on how this is all going to pan out. I'm very excited. Now, let's lock in. Let's lock in. Alright, and there's no chapter next week, which is honestly kind of perfect because I've mentioned this many times on stream, but in just a few days, I'm going to be heading to California for Anime Expo. And the only reason I'm capable of going to such an event is because all of you donated to the Christmas charity stream. So obviously that is immensely grateful of you all to support the cause and then fuel me to do these insane things. Now, what exactly is going to happen there, I don't fully know. I'm mostly going there for the vibes and, you know, obviously hanging out with a bunch of fellow One Piece creators that you all know. So I'm very excited for that. And I should be leaving in just a few days, which is kind of wild. It'll be my first time in California in quite a while. Maybe over 5 years. Maybe. I'm not entirely certain. But it has definitely been a distinctly long amount of time. And this is the first time I'm going on my own as well. So I'm very, very excited. But with that, I say it's time we lock in. Let me just check something real quick. I will also probably need to get some water at some point because I don't think I did not get water before I started the stream, which is very stupid of me, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I'm fully expecting to stand at some point, fully expecting it, which has me very excited. Very, very excited. Let me just check something really quickly. For some reason the chat isn't loading on here. I just want to make sure it's working. Just want to make sure. Let me just make 100% certain. And then we should be good to go. Okay. Yep. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. We're good to go. Let's look at this viz. One Piece, chapter 1153. And you know what? I don't know if I should have looked at the title. Not that this is necessarily spoilery, but basically my entire prediction of what the chapter was going to be about Loki being born and seeing his cursed birth is seemingly just the case, which is kind of cool. So this chapter's called The Birth of Loki. Pretty great. So I guess we're going to see the birth of Loki. Wild observation there. Alright, and so we're obviously continuing the Yamato cover story. And Yamato meeting up with the GOAT, Kiku. Shouts to Okiku. Obviously, happy Pride Month, and shouts to Okiku. Phenomenal. And, oh, we got Ocho as well, who's one of the Yakuza bosses. Will they do anything? Is kind of a question I'm thinking of at the moment. Will any of these Yakuza characters be important in the grand scheme? Odds are on no, but it's cool to see them. Very cool. Alright. The Birth of Loki. One Piece. Chapter 1153. Let's lock in. Oh, I say let's lock in, and it doesn't even turn. Alright. I'm going to keep doing the single page thing because I think this is a very good development. The single page thing, because sometimes when I read, obviously I get a bit ahead of myself, and I, you know, obviously read from left to right, you know, inherently. So reading right to left, the single page allows me to do that without, you know, spoiling myself. So I say we go. Prince Harold of Elbaf lived out his rather unhinged childhood years alongside Dory and Brogy, and they look adorable. Brogy looks absolutely adorable. Brogy looks like he's out of VeggieTales or something, which is really funny. Like he's built like Gecko Moria, you know. And the pants help a lot. The pants definitely add to the Gecko Moria comparison here. Alongside Dorian Brogy, though, that's really cool. That's really cool. Rather unhinged childhood years. Thanks to his innate size and strength, gifts from his ancient giant blood, as well as his noble status, he developed an inflated sense of self, and no one could stop him from growing into a royal pain. Everyone outside of Elbaf is so tiny and pitiful and boring. Don't you agree? Of course, Your Majesty. You're exactly right. Is he using his boogers as cannonballs right now? I'm seeing in the background here, there's a shark that's getting launched out of the ocean. And of course, there's a little flick from his fingers. And then the ocean, we see a massive blast. Like, that is insane to think about. That is the level that these guys are on. Their boogers are cannonballs. Just to show that inflated sense of, like, self-importance. That's wild. Okay. Bunt Kingdom. Bunt Kingdom. That's interesting. Bunt Kingdom. So this is probably not... the place he was earlier. It could be. It could be. Okay, Bunt Kingdom. Is that like Bunt Cake? I don't know where that's from. Where's Bunt Cake from? This is the level I'm at. Origin. Traditional European cake. Yeah, this place looked very German. Like, maybe not German. Maybe not German. But it was very European. Traditional Gugelhupf. Let's see. The Netherlands. I could easily see this being Netherlands. Like, okay. We're locked in again. Come one, come all. Marvel at the 10-meter woman. Feel the earth tremble as she walks. Cover your ears when she barks thunder. A rare giant from the exotic land of Elbaf. Feast your eyes on Ida. Cool. Or Ida. Could be Ida. I really like this othering of the giants here. This is very intriguing. And it almost brings me back thinking to Sabaody, where the giants were held as slaves. But now they're seen as like sideshow circus attractions. Because I could easily see a circus tent right there in the center. Alright, and now Ida is screaming. Ida. I'm just going to say Ida. Because if I say Ida, I'm going to think of the Owl House or something. Alright. So Ida is screaming. Like, you know, pretending to be like a... well, maybe not pretending. I highly doubt she's not, like, a savage or whatever. Like, she's probably playing it up and she's probably working. But, I mean, that would be an interesting... that would be interesting if this is, like, genuinely, like a savage giant. I don't think we've ever seen them, but I just don't buy that. She's probably in on the whole circus thing, playing it up for the crowd, you know. And that would, in turn... make Elbaf seem more fearful, more powerful, stuff like that. And it would add, if she's lying, you know, this could be Loki's mom. If she's lying. Cool. So she's growling. Step away from the cage if you don't want to be hurt. And all these townspeople are running away. We have a dad and like a little girl. There's a bunch of little kids. She is massive in comparison, though. That's crazy. And there's this ringmaster guy, of course, with like a whip, classic circus aesthetic. Harold's looking and is furious, turning a giant into a sick sideshow. They've got some nerve? They've got some nerve. Barahaha. Oh, yeah, haha. Okay, so a lot of people are laughing. It's a funny time right now. All right. They thought that Elbaf was a joke. Well, who's laughing now? Oh, the horns were fake. The horns were fake because we're looking at it here. Demon horns, no demon horns. Who are you? No need to thank me. I'm the king of Elbaf. I won't stand to see my homeland disrespected like that. And she slaps him right across the face with a massive, like, smush. What? Your Majesty, King Harold. Huh? Oh, he looks so, like, cute now, which is fun. He looked so, like raw, obviously, at the end of the last chapter. Now it's immediately, like, the cuteness comparison. I like that. Turn the ship around. I need to apologize. So many people were hurt back there. Are you insane? You care about that mini kingdom of tiny humans? Do I have to hit you again? King Harold. They saved my life when I washed up on their shore and gave me a job to do. They were kind enough to help me make a living until I was fully healed. What do you mean, tiny humans? Just because you happen to be born huge and are coincidentally strong and brutish, you actually think that makes you better than humans? How could you be so arrogant? It's pathetic. This is why everyone thinks all the giants are as barbaric and brutish as Elbaf. Okay, that's very cool. So, immediately, this is a bit of a flip on my expectation, which is great. So, the sideshow people found her when she was in dire need, which is cool. I like this. And immediately, instead of essentially, giving her nothing, and seeing her as a freak show, they lie and say that she is a freak show. And because of that, she's able to play this job, but then at the same exact time, like, she's being seen as like it says here, exotic land of Elbaf. She's being like ostracized and exoticized, but it's interesting. It's interesting. And then she also says here, that all giants are as barbaric and brutish as Elbaf. Are they talking about, like, the person, Elbaf? Or the land, in this case, which is very intriguing. Because they say barbaric and brutish as Elbaf. Maybe they're talking about the land of Elbaf. I don't know. But this is interesting. This is pretty interesting. She seems like a pretty noble person. She's like, look, humans are equal to giants. That seems like a pretty cool sentiment. I wouldn't have expected it from this time period especially. So maybe she is the one who changed Harold to be like a decent guy. So we say. Alright. Just because I was born huge. So Harold looks very, like, in disarray right now. And Ida's helping out, fixing the whole village. It's really nice. Should we just set sail, King Harold? Why are you all spacing out, huh? Go and help her, you ninnies. That town is as tiny as a model. It's easy work. Yes, Majesty. Okay, this is great. And we have this panel of her, like, smiling and, like, beaming, literally. Which is cute. Their method of construction is completely different from ours. We should tell everyone about it when we return to Elbaf. I want to bring home some of their spices. I've never tasted flavors like these before. Notice how hardy their fabric is? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so Harold is bowing to the king of this human land. And he looks pretty, like, very obviously stereotypical king-like. So we don't know if he's good or evil or whatever. But intriguing. Intriguing. And Ida's, like, honestly, it's kind of giving... Oh, actually, okay, this is going to sound, like, kind of insane, but hear me out. So this, like, role of, like, no, you have to, lower yourself to, like, do the best for what's right, it's giving very Luffy Vivi dynamic. Now, this, more likely than not, is Loki's mom, so I don't expect this to be, like I said, I don't think Luffy and Vivi are like a ship or something. But this is giving me a very similar dynamic to the two of them, but kind of inverted in a way because Vivi's obviously the ruler and Luffy wasn't, but now it's like the opposite. But the main thing I'm thinking is the X pattern right there on like, it's the most obvious thing about this design. It stands out like insanely well. That there's this massive X like right under her face. It's right there. So I keep thinking about Vivi, obviously, because that was a major part of her character. And she's being so nice and caring. So I'm very intrigued on where this is going to go. If there is more to this connection, I'd be very intrigued. Alright, so Harold's bowing down to this king. Harold's being used, like, not being used, but like kids are like climbing on him. You have to see things from their eye level, Harold. Nothing in this world is meant to be destroyed. And they're all dancing, doing the Gear 5 dance. Very cool, very cool. We don't get the, at least maybe we don't, but it seems like all the humans are kind of dancing like it too, which is so bizarre. Maybe they probably don't know, but the giants might know of the ramifications of that, you know. All right. Okay, we're getting some lore. Okay, I was born on Samwanai Island in the South Blue. After some twists and turns, my life's path brought me here. So you crossed the Serpent of Blood? Serpent of Blood. Oh my god. So that's crazy. That's crazy. So that's obviously a major theory drop. Because so many people thought, oh, is the red line like the snake, like the Jormungandr snake, Serpent of Blood? You mean the red line? That's crazy. Obviously, the Norse mythology stuff, Jormungandr, the world snake. That's a lot. Now, if that fully means something, that's very interesting. Or if it's a fun... It's obviously, regardless of it being like how deep it'll go, like if the red line literally is a snake or something, that would obviously be awesome. But regardless, this is a really fun little world building thing. Regardless. So, very intrigued there. You mean the red line? Well, yes. Which is why I can't go back home. And Harold's the one who said Serpent of Blood. Okay. So maybe there's a Serpent of Blood fruit. Maybe that's... Okay. Okay. Then come to Elbaf. We're not as barbaric as you say. Oh, maybe I was mistaken about you too. King Harold's changed. Yeah, it's creepy. I bet it won't last long. And now he's... Oh, so this is 4 years... 4 years forward. I wish to atone for all my countless crimes. What's gotten into you, Harold? Oh, yeah, he looks like he's, like, older in this state. I may be out of the country more often than I'd wish, but it is only to join hands with our neighbors and ask them to teach us their culture. If we learn from the rest of the world, we can make our land and lives richer. Yeah, but Dory and Brogy are still raising hell out there. They are good friends of mine, but they have always been eccentric. They're cordial with humankind and follow a code of honor. That's true. It doesn't hurt that they can fight, of course, but if they pose too much of a threat to the other nations, we may have to rein them in. Whoa. Oh my god, we got Jarl and Yorl. That's crazy. We even got Yorl's laugh. Zababa. What a turnabout. Bohaha. Oh, boya-ya. It's probably a ya, you know, obviously Scandinavian. Meeting new people took him on a journey. Harold, no, Elbaf is blessed with good luck. That's so interesting. That's so interesting that it's so interesting that we're getting like Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Isn't Sorry if you hear that dog in the background. My neighbor's dog is barking up a storm. Isn't Hyruden's mom a different mom? Yeah, because Hyruden's mom wasn't from Elbaf. This is Hyruden's mom. So we actually don't know who Loki's mom is yet. That's very interesting. And this seems a lot more genuine and sincere and nice. Very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. That little reveal there. Okay, the music's still going. Just want to make sure. All right. Little fun reveal. Okay, so this is Hyruden's mom. For example, by sending diplomats back and forth, we can help deepen the ties and friendship between nations. I see. So we're each taking hostages then. Don't say it like that. It means that countries can't get to be friends unless the people in them are connected somehow. 81 years ago, fisherman village, eastern Elbaf. The baby's been born? Congratulations, Harold and Ida. Okay, so we're probably going to see Hyruden right now. Thank you all. And now, Ida and I can... No, you're forbidden from marrying her. The royal line must remain pure of blood. I'm sorry, Ida. It galls me that it must come to this. This is just how the culture works. You can't get emotional and fight against it. You're always welcome in our village, Ida. As long as you live in the same country as Dad, you'll be happy. Right, Hyruden? This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay. Now, this is definitely Loki's mom. This is definitely it. This has got to be Loki's mom. Because she looks like more traditionally, like Ida here has a very unique One Piece face. This is probably one of the most distinct One Piece, like, women faces we've ever seen. The nose, the eyes, the lips, like, this character stands out so much. And then we immediately cut to this woman who looks way more stereotypically One Piece, like, attractiveness, right? So this is going to be Loki's mom, and then she's going to do something, well, maybe not her herself. We know that something bad happens. So let's see. This is your true betrothed, Harold. Estrid's blood is pure and ancient. She is one worthy of being our queen. I was born in the brewer's village to the north, and I studied geomancy. Oh, that's interesting. Geomancy. You know what that sounds like? That, you know, it's kind of giving me, like, what if this has to do with, like, Bonnie and, like, the stones on her face? That'd be a crazy reveal. It is my fate to love you for the rest of my life. Forget all about that woman and child to the east. Oh no. That's some crazy, like, weird, like, I don't know. I feel like that line, pluck that out. Dragon? I don't know. Oh, that's, no, good heavens. The spirit is escaping to the east. The spirit? The spirit? What? Your good luck is getting away. We must close the windows at once. Huh? And that mirror. It's in the 5-star kill position. Destroy it at once. What? Oh, what is it? Oh. Weirdo horse. I like this weird horse. It's kind of got, like, crazy, like, flame-looking things going on. This is Asla, the horse of good fortune. It's a gift from my clan. The perfect mount for you, King Harold. I have no doubt that this horse will bring you great luck. It's enormous. And why does it have 8 legs? Guards, bring all the jewels and gold in the treasury to my chambers. This is to ensure that the fortunes of wind and earth are sent in His Majesty's direction. Also, inform the scullery maids that from this day forward, the king and I will be using the fine silver to eat all of our meals. Is she just after luxury? The horse with 8 legs is wild. This is so bizarre. The vibe switch is crazy. Like, I think we just hit the halfway point when we're introducing this Estrid. I think we literally hit the exact halfway point of the chapter. It's so different. It's so different because with Ida, we're introduced to her as being possibly a monster. Let's imagine it like a Beauty and the Beast, right? The Beast, who's actually very, obviously very caring and nice and sincere, and this is the Beauty, who's actually like vain and like there's something about it. Very intriguing duality here. Okay, so this is 11 years after? Yeah, 11 years after. It says about 70 years ago. About 70 years ago, in an era when the rigors of the sea made it difficult to maintain trade between islands, Elbaf's skill at navigation was the envy of other nations. There's a star to the north that never moves called the Pole Star. No way! Did they make a log pose? Did they make the log pose? That'd be a crazy reveal. That would actually be a really crazy reveal. You said you met a mermaid, King Harold? Yes, I have at last. Fishmen, too. In a kingdom where those flesh blood live. In the kingdom where those with fish blood live, their king is a newborn heir named Neptune. Oh. All the creatures of the sea, not just the mermaids and fishmen, were engaged in a grand celebration that spanned the sea floor. Neptune. That's Shirahoshi's dad. Whoa. That's cool. That's cool. Orst Castle, Elbaf, 63 years ago, while Harold was away from home. Congratulations, my queen. It's a very healthy boy. His name is Loki. The king and I decided on it. Now show me my baby. Oh, this is gonna go so bad. We're getting like a page turn here. We're getting a page turn here, and I can't even. It's gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. Okay. She looks so like happy. I know this is gonna be terrible. Okay, show me the baby. Oh my god, oh my god, and that's why his eyes are covered up. Oh my god, she's horrified. She's actually horrified. She's got like a huge vein in her forehead. Holy shit. It's probably also huge as well. It's probably a huge baby. It's terrifying. Oh no, he's pretty normal size actually right now. Your Majesty, it's horrid. What is that thing? That is no son of mine. Please, Your Majesty, try to remain calm. Tell the kingdom that it was stillborn. You can't be serious. It's accursed. Just look at that baby. It's a monster. Oh my god. This is so messed up. Her eyes have like that ring eye thing that like Emu has. Wow. Wow. And Loki just wants like anything. Wow. The Prince of Elbaf grasped for empty air, but no hands reached out to envelop his own. Stop, Your Majesty. He's the royal heir. Oh my god, did she chuck him off the tree? No way. The most unfortunate of all living creatures is the one whose very existence is denied by its mother in the moment of its birth. Bro. That's awful. That is so horrible. Do you hear me? I bore no child. Do not tell a soul about this. Wow, this is so actually messed up. What are you planning to do? I'm going back home. I never want to bear another child. Your Majesty, head guardsman. Down in the underworld. What about the underworld? The head guardsman found something. What? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this a double page spread? It is. Alright, yeah. Oh my god, that's such a horrific panel. Wow. Wow. That's awful. That's so awful. Wow. So, what is that? What is that? What is that? So Loki's climbing up the tree. There's something in the woods down here. It's like a black, like, smudge. Did Loki's body, like, fall on someone and, like, smush them into a paste? That's, like, what I'm thinking from this panel. Queen Estrid fell ill. Get rid of the child. There was a prophecy before it was even born. The prophecy said that King Harold would one day be killed by his own son. Not that madness again. And while Harold was busy banging his head against the problems of national relations, the world government has stepped in to block our path again. Why can't countries be free to decide for themselves? So he doesn't like the world government either. Hey, can I see the baby too? He's your brother. He's not your son, and so he's not my brother. Aw, you're even sweet like that. Alright, let me reread that. Queen Estrid fell ill, and while Harold was busy banging his head against the problem of national relations, all of the misfortunes that would fall upon Elbaf would be known as Loki's curse. Wow. Bro, this panel of the baby climbing is insane. That is so horrific. Wow. And that's it. That's the end of the chapter. That's crazy. Like, that's so crazy. And this is just the beginning. So my prediction for the chapter was that we would see Loki be born, which is hilarious that we just, the title itself was The Birth of Loki. So, I mean, that was pretty funny. But this is so awful. This is so depressing, like, genuinely. This panel here is so just heart-wrenching. Oh my god. Like, actually, that is so depressing. And this here, the mom throwing Loki off of Elbaf, and he's still alive. He's still alive. Man, that is so awful. That is so actually depressing. Estrid, man, you are such a bum. We do not like Estrid. Wow. Wow. Alright, this was overall a really good chapter. Overall. I love the bait and switch. Like, I actually thought that Ida was Loki's mom. I genuinely did for like half the chapter. And I'm like, wait a second. Hyruden's not born yet, and Hyruden's older. That's when I had that realization. I'm like, huh. I love, like, we get this interesting character turn for Harold in, like, no time. That's the power of flashbacks like this, where we can, like, kind of skip forward in time, from bit to bit. But literally just meeting Ida, like, changed his life forever. Like, now he's so kind and, like, open-minded, but he used to just be awful. And it just took one person to just, like, literally slap him in the face. That's all it took. One person. Just because they didn't, they weren't scared to be like a yes man, Wow. Yeah, but I loved a lot of this stuff. Like the booger being like a cannonball, that was really cool. The fake horns on Ida. I kind of wish we saw her like take off the horns or something. That would have been neat. That would have been a neat little thing. But it's fine. It's fine. She's obviously wearing more traditional Elbaf clothes in this thing anyway, with like the cape, the pants, the belts. Maybe even the shirt. The shirt honestly looks different. Very interesting though. Very, very interesting. And like Harold stepped in for such a good reason. Turning a giant into a sick sideshow. They've got some nerve. Like that's such a genuine, like, heroic reason. Like, oh, my people are not going to be seen as like persecuted or a joke or something. But then the flip on his head, really cool. Really cool. And all it took was people to be like, get over yourself, you know? Oh, shout out to everyone here. Sorry for not really reading the chat during the chapter. Crazy panel of Loki climbing. Exactly. I couldn't believe that. Kev, let me know what you think. Is Harold's reaction face to Ida slapping him just a Hotel Transylvania face? Tell me it's not giving Dracula. No, it honestly, it kind of is. It actually kind of is. Like, I haven't seen those movies myself, but the art style is very distinct. Like, you know, and obviously shouts to Gendy. But that's really funny. It is giving like the face. I love it. Loki rejected his entire life. Even Lola rejected him. Bro, you know, I didn't think of that, but that's gonna make it. We'll probably see Lola. We probably will see Lola in this flashback, which is crazy. Fell like Kaido. Confused what you kind of mean by Kaido here. Climbed like Luffy in Drum. Very true. Oh, fell like Kaido. Like he was... True. Very true. I like that. Loki climbing the underworld as a baby heavily reminded me of Luffy climbing up Drum Island for Nami. I agree. The snowy aesthetic obviously helps a ton. And also the like breathiness. I remember Luffy had a lot of that as well. Ida's going to be Saul's sister. Do we know where Saul is from? I'm very curious now. South Blue. She was from the South Blue. I think you're onto something. I think you're definitely onto something here. I like this theory. You are cooking. Ida. All right, let's look up Ida right now. Under the panel of baby Loki climbing decapitated bear. Thank you. Oh, you're right. Oh my god. I was wondering what that was. So did he like eat the bear? Did he eat the bear? Because like I see like bones now. I thought Loki landed on something. And crushed it. And he's obviously covered in blood right now as an infant. Maybe the blood like adds to the omen, you know? But that wasn't anything he intentionally did. It was like, I don't know. It was like just a coincidence. But because the baby is drenched in blood, it makes it look so much more ominous. You know, obviously adding to the fear of Loki without actually having very much anything to stand on. I wonder if Ida's alive. Have we seen her in the present at all? I feel like I would have definitely like recognized this face, because Ida, I'd say, probably has one of the more distinct, I said this earlier, definitely one of the most distinct like female faces in One Piece, without a doubt. The mouth, the nose, and the eyes are all incredibly distinct. I don't think there's been another female character in One Piece like this. And before her, it was like Anj. Anj also had a very distinct, like, especially nose. The nose, I think, is very similar. Like, Anj One Piece. No, Anj looks different too. Maybe Oda's just cooking different with these Elbaf people. Like they have very distinct faces. Like maybe he like started like kind of deeping it and was like, wait, you know? Oh, Bunt means multicolored in German. Possibly we're referencing the circus hosted in the Bunt Kingdom. Okay, so I was kind of right with the Germany stuff. At first I was like, no, maybe not German. But you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Samuwanai Island. Another giant, Jaguar D. Saul, is known to have originated from the South Blue. It is unknown, though, if he has any connection to Samuwanai Island or how many giants may reside there. I like the idea that they're siblings. I like that idea. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Because sometimes I don't like, oh, this is all connected, whatever. But, like, this makes sense. They're both giants. They're both from the South Blue. And it would be cool to make, like, more people in... Like, if Hiruden had the Will of D, that would be really cool. That would be really cool. Another giant with the Will of D. And, of course, they were the one who, like, kind of really spurred on, like, the belief in Usopp. Like, really spurred him on. Like, stuff like this is cool. He's the link they have to Elbaf in the new world. You know, he's the post-time skip, the link to Elbaf. He's literally the brother of the rightful heir to Elbaf. Like, there's so much here that I want him to be. I want your theory to be true. Also, for some reason, when I say want, it sounded really weird in, like, my ear. I don't know. Very bizarre. Polestar refers to Logtown, Polestar Island, Lodestar, maybe a sunstone, or pre-log posts or compass. If you could explain that, I would appreciate that. I'm a bit confused on what you're saying. It's a bit a lot for me right now. Also, I will need to be getting water soon. This is starting to be a lot. Under the pen, the decapitated bear. We saw that. Estrid may be working for Shadow Elders. Oh. Saturn may be messed with her DNA, bringing back the dragon race. The dragon race. Like the dragons, okay. The dragon race. And Vegapunk did make the dragon in Punk Hazard. Okay, that's really interesting. Okay. Dragon race. So people are saying the eyes are like dragon eyes? That's intriguing. That's very intriguing. Dragon eyes. Dragon eyes. You know, I didn't think of that, but that's very interesting. They're you know, obviously I thought like demon because the horns and the eyes, but dragon eyes. That would make so much sense too. Celestial dragons. They want to make dragons. Vegapunk made dragons. Dragon race. We've never seen any reptilian people in One Piece either. Dragon eyes. Okay. Very interesting. And the dragon, you know, Kaido's fruit, it's not a dragon, it's a fish fruit, like a fish fruit. So maybe the dragons aren't actually reptilian people, they're fish people with wings and also can breathe fire, like a Lunarian fishman hybrid in a way. Very interesting. Okay, I like this idea. Dragon eyes. Dragon eyes. Okay. Estrid may be working for the world government. That's so wild. You know, I don't hate it. Because I did mention earlier, because of the geomancy. Geomancy. Mancy to me implies like wizardry. Mancy. Oh, you think he killed the bear to survive? Okay, I like that. I like that. That or else. Oh, okay. You're saying that or else. So the celestial dragon thing, or Loki is like Shirahoshi and Poseidon. Every 800 years, a recessive genes of ancient giant is born, a demon oni or dragon. The dragon thing. I'm hooked on this dragon idea. This is crazy. They're saying Ether might be Musa. Who is Ether? Ether. Ether? Am I crazy? Who's Ether? Is Ether Ida? I highly doubt Estrid would be talking to Loki. I highly, highly doubt Estrid would be talking to Loki at all. Because Estrid seems to despise him. Who's Ether? Yeah, I thought bunt cake as well. I thought bunt cake. Oh, baseball bunt. That's fun. Multicolored like the rainbow. Harold showed people in a chapter, which was around here. Yeah, there's a star to the north, and everybody was called the pole star. And it was a compass as well. Yeah, that is true. Compass. That's just a straight up compass. That's not even a log pose. But it's... No, it's 8 directional as well. It's not even spinning. Okay. I think it would be really interesting if Elbaf created the log pose. I think that'd be really cool. I like that theory a lot. And it's cool. It brings it very full circle. Like, oh wow, this is who made these. Pole star is the start of the Grand Line, and lodestar is the end of the Grand Line. Pole star. Pole star. I thought pole... Wait, so... Logetown. Oh, Logetown is on the Pole Star Islands. Okay. Okay, and that's the one that takes us to the Grand Line. Pole Star Islands. Okay. Okay. And then Lodestar is the end. That's obviously where a lot of people think we're going to be there, and then we're going to be at the One Piece. So, but Pole Star is Logetown. Cool. Okay. Nola is a sun god in Skypiea and is a snake dragon. Luffy was behind inside the eye from getting out of Nola's body. That is true. That is true. And the same thing happened with Kaido as well, with Kaido's eye. And Kaido is obviously very reminiscent of Nola. You know, design-wise. Big blue snake creature. Very cool. The eye thing is so interesting. And the eye thing, Skypiea, the eye, Luffy was hiding the one eye. You know, the skull with just the one eye. There's something there. There's something there with the eyes. There's something there. But, dude, what is going on? This horse went nowhere. I love how there's just this horse. Oda just draws a horse with 8 legs. And it went nowhere. It went nowhere. It would be kind of intriguing if the horse is somehow tied to, like, Noshiro. Because the horse looks insane. It's a very creepy horse. So that would be cool. The horse will probably go somewhere with Loki. In these next upcoming chapters. I could easily see that being the case. Dude, Estrid throwing Loki off the tree is so diabolical. It's so evil. Actually evil. Insane. Norse mythology, Odin has an 8-legged horse. Alright, hold up. Odin. Sleipnir. This looks so weird. I like it. Also known as Slippy or the Slipper. That's fun. Okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna get into it, but apparently it is. In mythology, the 8-legged horse is somehow related to Loki, like, biologically. I'm not gonna get into that. That sounds weird and just bizarre. But I could easily see if this thing has a connection to Loki, this horse, you know, in mythology, I could easily see Loki using the horse as it goes on. In myth, Loki turned into a female horse to mate with a male horse. And what? Okay. Well, Loki will probably use the horse. Ida Ismosa, I could buy that. I could definitely buy Ida Ismosa, because that would be a really cool reveal later on. Because she even says right at the end, "Hey, can I see the baby too? He's your brother." Like, that she's so kind-hearted that she wants to help Loki. Like, even without being literally, like, related to him, she wants to help. And I think that's, like, sweet and genuine. So I really like that theory that she is she's Mosa. I like that theory. Isn't Mosa supposed to be somewhat old sounding as well? I mean, that would track as well. Not that she's old. She's probably, like, in human years, like 60 or 70 or something. So she's probably got a lot of life still to live. For giants, obviously. Samuani Island. Samuanai Island. I really like the idea of her being Saul's sister too. That'd be a cool reveal for him later in the arc as well. I wonder if she knows he's alive. Maybe. I don't know. They do talk about him quite a bit, so. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. I do have a question for all the chatters here. I do have a question. So Dak sent me this message earlier. We're gonna pull it up on my browser real quick. So the question, not question, it was an edit for volume 112. Right? He sent me this. Gunko now belongs to the Manmayer family. Okay, so Manmayer was one of the families in God Valley. To me, that changes a lot because, you know, I thought that Gunko was probably a slave who was, you know, forced into it. The military brat stuff, you know, I really thought that. But I mean, hey, military brat also means like they're raised into this lifestyle. So that doesn't shock me either. So Gunko is now part of the Manmayer family, which is interesting because that to me implies that she was, you know, at the time as a very young girl training to be a God's Knight, and then she met Brooke. So that adds a very interesting like wrench in it. So maybe Brooke would go to multiple reveries, and met this girl like multiple times or something. Like, that'd be crazy. It also reveals that she's called Gunko Gu, like Charlia Gu. I'm not entirely sure what that means. If people can explain that, I would be very appreciated. And Shamrock is now called Saint Shamrock, which I feel like that's fine. That's fine, because it was it Charlos also a saint? Yeah, all the Celestial Dragons are called saints. So that's fine. That's fine. That's directly implying that he's Celestial Dragon. That also implies, obviously, that Shanks is Celestial Dragon. Interesting. Interesting. Gunko being one, I'm very intrigued by. So it seems like it is like a... You have to be biologically a Celestial Dragon to be a God's Knight. Very intriguing. What do we think about this? What do we think about Gunko being a man-mayor? I find it intriguing. Not 100% how I feel about it. I think there is some intriguing developments to be had with such a thing. Very intriguing, but overall, I like it because it makes Brook be having such a close connection to Gunko, at least as a child, more intriguing. Like, okay, so Brook definitely had to have met her at a reverie. Like, definitely. But how did it all come to be? Like, now I'm very intrigued in that. Very intrigued. But let's see. Let's see what else there is. I think there was something else that I saw that I was like, oh. Oh. Not seeing anything at the moment. Except Loki. He was offered to be a God's Knight. Very true. He was offered to be a God's Knight. So there is the chance that Gunko could have been picked as a God's Knight, and then maybe like, no. Yeah, maybe they could get picked by a God's Knight, and then they get especially like sponsored by a family. Like, she might not literally be related to the Man-Mayor family, but maybe she is adopted per sense, you know? I still think the idea of her being one is more intriguing, at least at the moment, because that means Brook must have been there multiple times. A lot of stories building up to the Holy Land. Brook Shanks story in the Holy Land? That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Because when Brook was sailing around, he called Roger like a newbie. You know, like that's crazy. That upstart Roger. What? Literally living in another world. Yeah, adopted into a side branch of the family. Like something like that. Like, okay, you're in our family, but you're not like the family. You know, it's like a second cousin, etc. I don't know how fully royal families do that kind of stuff, because this is like a lot. There's a lot, but I think there's what, 10 God's Knights? There's probably 10 distinct families as well, which is wild. I don't know how many like of the families there are, but it was the 20 kings, so the 20 families. I would buy that. I would buy there being 20 families. Well, really 19, because Vivi, obviously, the Nefertari family did not go. So there's the Don Quixotes, the Man-Mayors, Figarlands now. We don't know Somers, unless Somers is just the family name, same with Killingham. But, I mean, that's intriguing. Intriguing. I'm trying to think if I have anything else off the top of my head. Top of my head, I do not have anything else. One, it is a nice, somewhat hot Sunday afternoon, and I need to finish packing for Anime Expo. So I will probably be ending the stream relatively soon, because I need to get this packed and get ready for heading out to California. I do want to reiterate, obviously, I would not be going to California without the many gracious viewers who have watched the channel, all that, and most importantly, donated to the Christmas charity stream. The only reason I'm going, obviously, is because you guys all donated, and because that money went to Chop, I am now being insane and going to California for the first time on my own. So that's really cool. That's really cool. And hopefully going to see a lot of really cool people. maybe you'll see. But overall, I am very excited for the trip. I have a lot of my stuff packed right over here, conveniently out of frame. Conveniently. But, still trying to finalize everything. So, with that, I mean, let me see if anyone is live. Is Randy live? He likely is. Likely. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Each family might sponsor a strong warrior due to them not always having a strong fighter in their individual family. I completely agree. I completely agree. Okay, I don't see if Randy is live, but if so, I cannot redirect to him. So, if he is, make sure to obviously go to him. I like that idea, though, of them sponsoring the warrior. I think that's cool. That's cool. And that always adds some dramatic tension into stories. It's like, oh, why is this outsider seen as one of us? You know, stuff like that. That's the classic. It's classic. So, with that, I mean, I really enjoyed this chapter. I will say, this was very good. I would probably give it like an 8. It would have been, I'll say an 8. I'll say an 8. I think that the Loki stuff at the end really did a lot. Really did a lot to really push this to like a higher level. Because to be blunt, it was okay. It was okay, you know? I enjoyed reading it. I liked the stuff with Ida a lot. I thought that the switch, like the crazy tone switch with Estrid was really cool, especially because it was like distinctly the halfway point of the chapter. We got to see these two kids and how they were raised, you know, these brothers, just to see like how different the world was treating them. It was really cool. But the Loki stuff at the end, with the thematic like richness of everything that was going on, like him getting thrown off the tree, that is horrific. That is actually horrific stuff. It went from a 7 to an 8, like, for sure, because of that thematicness right there. We need new blood, so no inbreeding. Keep the bloodline strong, like in history. That's a great point. You know, royal families obviously would try and get with other high-class families to ensure that not only the bloodline is pure, you know, kind of like what they're saying with Elbaf having a pure bloodline, but to inspire, like, oh, if we put our royal families together, we'll be even stronger and stronger with our militaristic forces, our money, our backing, all that. So I could definitely see that as well. But I don't know, at the exact same time, I feel like they just kidnap people just because they think they're attractive. It's not anything that deep, you know? Like that happened with there's that one lady in Saboti. It was like a nurse who was like helping out her husband, maybe not even a nurse. It was someone helping out like a dying person on the street. It was like, oh, do you want to be one of my wives? Like, I don't think they really care. But that's just Charlos, to be fair. We all hate him. We all hate him very, very much. Yeah, I think that's going to be it from me. Obviously, expect a lot of great stuff. I will be gone for, you know, California. So if I am streaming on Sunday, which I may be, make sure to definitely stay tuned. As I said. So with that, that'll be it from me. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a great rest of your week. Great next week as well. It seems as though we don't have a chapter next week. I think it said 14 days, so there might not be a chapter. Yep, 14 days. So there won't be a chapter next week, which is wild. Just wild. But a lot to talk about. I cannot wait for this Loki flashback to finish up. I cannot wait. There's a lot here I'm excited to see. This is stuff we've been waiting for ever since Loki was introduced. And there's an inkling of a tragic backstory. So I'm very excited to see what's to come. I see both their desires for power and preference. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah. Apologize if you heard any barking or music. My neighbor's also blasting music, but that's it is what it is thing. I literally can't do anything about that. So we'll be going. I'll be packing, and hopefully, yeah, have a good one.